Minister, just a slight deviation from the question that's on the question paper. If you would consider having a member of the HECA, the Higher Education Colleges Association, as a representative on the National Skills Council and Regional Skills Fora.
Thank Deputy O'Sullivan in relation to this matter, and I want to acknowledge at the outset that HECA have played a very constructive role in their engagement with my department since its foundation, particularly during the COVID pandemic. They've sat on the COVID steering committee. There hasn't been a difference between publicly funded or privately funded in terms of public health-led approach to the COVID crisis. And I want to thank HECA and in particular their Chief Executive, Patricia, for her work in that regard. Partnership between government and key stakeholders, including the enterprise sector and providers of education and training programmes, such as higher education institutions, is a key principle embodied in our national skills strategy. In light of the Deputy's question, I wish therefore to reassure him that this principle is reflected in a strong voice and representation on the National Skills Council and the Regional Skills Fora for higher education institutions. But I take the specific point the Deputy is making in relation to HECA. The Irish University Association and the Technological Higher Education Association, which between them represent all but one public HEIs in the state, are represented on the National Skills Council by Professor David Fitzpatrick and Dr Brendan McCormack. A membership of all the Regional Skills Fora also includes representatives from universities, technological universities and institutes of technology. I'm providing the Deputy this evening with full details in writing of National Skills Council membership and Regional Skills Forum membership, which I trust will be of assistance to him in light of his question. And I don't wish to give a prescriptive answer tonight, but in light of his question, I will give consideration in relation to the issue of HECA. And when I next meet with HECA, I'd be happy to engage with them further on this. I certainly think it merits consideration. They have a very important role to play in relation to providing courses to meet industry needs, and they're doing that in many ways. So I think it's a valid question the Deputy asks of me, and I'll just reflect on it and revert to him directly.
Yeah, thanks, Les I suppose my response to that, because that's a fairly welcome answer, would be brief, but we're all well aware of the role that HECA play, particularly I suppose the courses that they offer. I think that they currently have 27,000 students nationwide in colleges ranging from Hibernia College to Griffith College in Cork and Dublin, and cover courses from business to education to childcare. So I think that there's a good balance there in terms of who they represent and what colleges and students they represent. So I just welcome the Minister's comment, and I suppose I know that the National Skills Forum meets quarterly, I think, or every 2 months at least, or 3 months. So if the Minister was in a position, I suppose, at that stage to clarify, at least, I suppose, if HECA have been consulted with at that point, that would be most welcome. I suppose I sit in the Education Committee, and quite regularly we'd have representatives from HECA in, and it's quite obvious that they're held in such esteem that they come in with all those other representative bodies, so I do believe that they warrant inclusion.
Speaker to Deputy O'Sullivan, I mean, I hold HECA in high esteem as well. I find them very good to engage with. They engage with us on a whole range of issues. I've had a number of meetings with them and will continue to engage with them. I would suggest, in order to take this forward, that perhaps Deputy O'Sullivan and or HECA would formally communicate with myself and my department on this matter, and that way we'll be able to come back to the Deputy, as he suggests, in advance of the next regular meeting of the National Skills Council.